I know we say this pretty much every single treasure map, but this has to be the actual worst treasure map ever. In OPTC history, I've never seen so many bugs, issues, problems, concerns, frustrations, anger towards a treasure map in my entire life. So in today's video, we're going to have a chat about what's going on with treasure map versus Luffy, why it's a big problem, and I have 3 teams for you guys to actually talk about said issues and show you how to take it down. Now, I feel like the versus Luffy fight's pretty much the only concern. The mini bosses are always just like get through them quickly, and the intrusion honestly isn't too bad this particular time. It's not perfect, but obviously it's not too bad. Now, the first issue that we had on treasure map versus Luffy for the final boss fight is Stage 2 has Special Bind on your left-hand column. Now, it's 7 turns of Special Bind. With the new Seraphim unit, as you can see, I'm using them on my team here, they only remove 6 turns of Special Bind. So I'm not exactly sure what Bandai expected us to do unless you have double Lucci and Kaku. If you have double Lucci Kaku, you could probably swap with your own Lucci Kaku, use your Lucci Kaku special, pass the turn into the next phase, and then use the Seraphim on the final stage. But they want you to use Seraphim in that middle left-hand column because they're immune to blow away and all that fun stuff too. But if you don't have Lucci Kaku and you have to remove the Special Binds, you are basically forced into bringing a support like Garp on Kuzan or Marco and Vista on something like Ace. On top of that, there's a bit of an issue. If you don't get the bird, as you can see there, the damage from Lucci Kaku is actually not enough to kill the back unit. Now, if you have your own Lucci Kaku, you can throw on a stat support, and that's going to help out. But then you'll have the exact same issue with this final stage, trying to take out Brook and Jinbei. Now, as you can see there, I brought Kuzan along. Kuzan can just wave clear the back units for me as well. And with this particular team, I'm actually not bypassing the binds, so we can't use him on the final stage to kind of help us out in that regard. One of the big issues that I mentioned, though, is trying to do enough damage to Brook and Jinbei on the final stage. Now, on the final stage, there is a territory, and what this does, it actually increases the enemy's damage reduction by 25%. On top of that, Lucci Kaku, when you move into this final stage, as their dual form, aren't going to completely reduce the damage reduction and the threshold. Remember, there's still 30% remaining. So any damage you do, even though it says ignoring defensive effects, is not actually going to get nerfed by the territory. From what we believe right now, that's what's going on. There hasn't been any full clarification in that regard, but as you can see, the damage that I had was enough because we got past the barrier, and then we use a support of Roger on our Lucci Kaku to actually take down the back units. That's without the bird. Without the bird is a huge problem. And once again, if you have nothing at all, the bird is going to be a massive, massive issue. Now, if you don't have Lucci Kaku and anything from the One Piece Day batch, you were basically forced to use Green Bull, or you could utilize this particular Whitebeard. Now, to do that, you needed this Whitebeard to be level 150. Yeah, you have to go to the treasure map shop, pick up a whole bunch of copies. Even if you're an endgame player, you still have to do this. Pick up a whole bunch of copies, max him out, get him to level 150, throw in a bunch of cotton candy, and then hopefully you'll have enough damage to actually kill that back unit. Because Ryogoku, he only just has enough, even with that stat support of Roger. Another issue is that Special Bind, once again, if you have a look at the boosted list here, there's really not that many characters that can remove Special Bind. You have 2 treasure map legends in Nami Carrot and Luffy, but they only remove it by 6 turns. So again, you have to bring a support. You do have the treasure map free-to-play unit in Jinbei who can remove 7 turns, and he's pretty much going to be the go-to option for everyone that doesn't have the Special Bind options. But the fact you were funneled into using a 1.2 times booster is very, very annoying. But if you don't have anything at all, you could, and you have Green Bull, you can abuse Sakazuki. The downside to utilizing Sakazuki, though, is realistically you need him level limit break 5. So the fact that they kind of expect you, or they want you to have a level limit break 5 Akainu, who's now a PvP legend, by the way, on top of having a treasure map legend to do damage, or max out an incredibly old unit and use a shit ton of resources to do so, and restrict the amount of Special Bind characters that we have to only be treasure map legends and a treasure map legend, free-to-play unit that hasn't been around for a while, making you use more resources to go and get them, made it very, very, very challenging for players in the New World League. Now, obviously, like, you don't have to bring Ace, you don't have to bring Beppo on these final teams. You can run other characters to help you out with these specials, but realistically, you want the max amount of boost that you can get on the final stage, utilizing these 1.4 times boosters. And the fact that these characters don't help out at all, it's just, it really grinds my gears, to be honest, because they've been doing such a good job, like Arlong and Ace in previous content, making the characters, that free-to-play characters, really viable in the upcoming content for particular stages, just to help out free-to-play players or help out players that are missing like 1 or 2 units to just get across the line. But with this, if you're missing 1 or 2 units, you're still in a really shit spot. Like, if you're missing Kaido, for example, you're still in a shit spot. If you're missing Kaido and Blackbeard, you're still in a shit spot. If you're missing everything at all, you're in a very, very shit spot. Now, as you can see, with this particular team, once again, without the bird, we actually don't have enough damage to kill the back units. Now, I totally stuffed this up. I was meant to use Beppo first, so I think I bring it back. We want to use Beppo first, just so that way we get the 50% HP cut, and that way we can activate Ace to extend the chain boundary. If you guys are using this particular team, it should work really, really well. Ideally, you really want to have the Green Bull Akainu combination. I'm not sure if you do need Akainu level Limit Break 5. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But again, this is without the bird, so the damage numbers are a lot lower. If you guys don't get the bird, just kill one mini-boss and just leave the run. That's probably going to be the best, in your best interest. That way you guys aren't smacking your head against the wall, complaining that I don't have enough damage, or I don't have enough level Limit Break, Cotton Candy, support stats, anything like that. But this particular team is great because Akainu has the ability to apply increased damage taken. The increased damage taken ability that Akainu can actually... Oh, we not below 50%. Oh, we were not below 50%. Oh, because Carrot and... Right. Carrot and Nami heal. We're meant to use the swap of Carrot and Nami and then use Beppo. I goofed it anyway. I went back in time and still goofed it. Oh, well, look, it is what it is. That way you get the carryover of the chain lock. Yeah, if you got the carryover of the chain lock, this damage will be way more. So ideally what you want to do is you want to use the swap of Carrot Nami, use Carrot Nami first, then go into Beppo, bink Beppo a couple of times, get the 50% HP cut. Then you can use Luchikaku, and that way you'll have the A special to extend the chain lock. So yeah. Now as you can see, without the bird, if you just use the Green Bull special, even with a Roger stat support, the territory reduces the damage, and unfortunately, it's just not enough. It's a little bit shy. However, if you have Sakazuki as your captain, I believe he has like this really fun captain swap mechanic. So like you don't even need to really run him as a captain. You could definitely run him as a sub, and you should still be able to get the captain swap because of the Green Bull Sailor, and that way you can swap into captain, utilize his increased damage taken, and with that, Green Bull is going to hit very, very hard and hit about 800k on everyone, and that's probably going to be the best way to do it. Even if you guys have like Kaido and Blackbeard, that what you're seeing here, I feel like that's going to be the best way to go about it, utilizing a Kaido to apply the increased damage taken, and that way you can abuse it with extra damage. On top of that, Kaido can also apply increased damage taken, so he's going to be a really, really nice character to have if you guys manage to pull Blackbeard and Kaido vs Luffy. As you guys saw, though, I am using some pretty illustrious supports. You do need 10 turns of damage reduction and 10 turns of threshold removal on the final stage. But if you remove the damage reduction, you're in a really, really bad spot. The enemy triggers an interrupt, and it's just all downhill from there. But you can reduce that damage reduction with something like Kaku, or with something like Lucci, and then remove the threshold. So we're using that Cornelius support under Ace. We're also using the Zoro support on Carrot and Nami, and that way we actually have enough threshold removal to get rid of it on the final stage, and then we can start doing damage. With that, we can still use Luchikaku on the final stage, and that way we don't have to worry about bringing Green Bull, we don't have to worry about bringing Whitebeard. However, this team is pretty much just going to work if you have Blackbeard and you have Kaido. Now, if you don't have Blackbeard, not the end of the world. Like, you can still just run Kaido as captain, vice versa. Not really, actually. Kaido is pretty much the key to the puzzle here, because he's the one that hits the threshold, but look, it is what it is. As you can see, on turn 2, we swap with Luchikaku. You want to make sure that you are Lucci moving into the final stage. If you are Lucci, he's going to reduce the damage reduction, and then you want to get rid of the threshold. Blackbeard is going to apply territory on turn 2. He's also going to give us a 2-turn attack buff, which is going to then override that very small 1.1 that we actually get given as well. As you can see, I put Beppo in that middle left. He's not doing anything for this team, really. He's actually doing nothing at all. So, he's the one that's going to get blown away. And with Carrot and Nami, you don't actually need the support to get around the extra turn of special bind because we're actually just passing the turn. With this, though, you are going to have to kill everything. So as you can see there, we do have to basically do all of our taps, but that's not a big issue because we're going to get all of our orbs back regardless. But the way this team actually operates is that you realistically need to have all of the supports to get through the threshold. There's also like a Doc Q support that goes on Blackbeard and whatnot as well. But if you guys don't have those supports, this team's just not going to work. But I guess you could definitely replace like Ace with someone that could, well, not really Ace. Yeah, look, getting around the territory is kind of important as well. So, but I guess you could definitely replace Ace with another like threshold remover, I suppose. Carrot Nami's going to remove the special bind and the bind, and then with that we can start popping the rest of our specials. I also had the versatility of Kaido that I didn't use in this fight, so the damage numbers will be even higher if you guys are running this team. However, we don't have a what's it called? An orb buff, but I definitely think you could slap on something like Dex Zoro on Kaido, and that way you're just going to get an orb buff there as well. And that should work out pretty hunky-dory. So this particular team will work great if you guys are missing the treasure map legends, but you have the One Piece Day legends. I'd highly recommend summoning, especially on Luffy vs Kaido's banner. That's definitely going to be the most value for most players, as you're going to get the most out of the treasure map legends, the treasure map rare crits, and the super sugos over there. As you guys can see here, this is all without the bird. And without the bird was the big issue that most players are running into. The fact that the Luchikaku special is just not killing the back units without that bird help, that extra 1.2 times, just a massive head scratcher. The 7 turns of special bind is a big issue. And the fact that the damage numbers won't actually hitting through and killing the back units even with the bird early on in the treasure map, which there is a video up on my channel if you guys want to go check that out. Just seeing how that actually operate was kind of interesting, kind of funny. On top of that, that was a limit break expanded Luchikaku, like still only just doing over 500,000. But look, that's going to wrap up the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, but like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think of treasure map or this treasure map in the comment section below. Most importantly though, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lights!